Hi everyone! For week 3 of our course, we're going to be focusing on a study tool called Quizlet. Quizlet's something that I use often, almost once a week, and it's one of the most beneficial tools I find for special ed students and even the gen ed population. Similar to our tool last week, right, quizzes, this week, Quizlet, and the following week, next week, we'll be doing Kahoot, right? I chose to start with these 3 tools because they are all study tools. And study skills is something that our students I personally feel, are struggling with. Especially students with special needs, they really need to reinforce their comprehension. They need repetition. They need to work on things at home, and they need to study. And I find that our kids just aren't studying. I'll give you an example. So I had recently on the board, their homework was to study for their test. And I literally heard kids look at each other and be like, yeah, no homework. And I went up to the kids and I'm like, you do have homework, you need to study. And they were like, okay, Miss Lau, sure, no problem, I'm gonna study. And after conversing with the student the following day and talking to other students, it's apparent that either some of them are choosing not to study, clearly. Some of them just don't know how. So Quizlet, along with Kahoot, along with quizzes, these are all tools that are just going to help them out. There are 3 different features of Quizlet. The first one is the standard Quizlet study set. These are terms and these are definitions, and you can play different games to study. The second one is Quizlet diagram. This is used to label things. So if the kids need to remember how to label the parts of a body, parts of a heart, parts of a cell, they need to label the states, in the U.S., if they need to label different countries and oceans, if they need to label different parts of a graphic organizer, right? This is a great tool to help them study diagrams. And the last version is Quizlet Live. And that is the newest thing, and I am absolutely loving it. You can hear, if you walk by my classroom, when we play Quizlet Live. Because similar to Kahoot, it just has a very engaging effect. And I really suggest that you try it out with your kids. They really enjoy it. So Quizlet, Quizlet Diagram, and Quizlet Live are the 3 parts of Quizlet that we're going to go over in the slideshow. There is a free version of Quizlet and there's a paid version of Quizlet. I personally have the free version. And I'm the type of person where if it's good, I'm going to upgrade and spend that money on it. And I didn't even do that. I find that the free version is good enough. The main difference between the free version and the paid version is for the paid version, you can see the students' individual results. So that is nice, but if I wanted to see individual results, I would just use a different tool like quizzes, which is free, and we did that last week. I wanted to end with a story that I heard from one of the people that is taking my class on Tuesdays, and we went over Quizlet, and his name is Mike, and he incorporated it in his class, and he came up to me last class, and he said to me, I just got to tell you, ever since I incorporated Quizlet into my classroom, I see results. I see kids scoring 10 to 20 points higher on testing quizzes. And that was just something that made me really happy. And this is 5th graders, okay? And he has his 5th graders making his own Quizlets. So again, I'm a strong believer in September and October. You can make their Quizlets for them, sure. But by the end of the year, the goal should be to really have them creating a Quizlet of their own and really learning how to study even if you aren't around. Even when I taught 4th grade self-contained, I didn't have them create the whole set, but we all worked together and they all created one term. And you can start off with baby steps. All right. If you have any questions, obviously reach out to me. I'm excited, if you have not tried Quizlet Live, to try it. I'm also excited to watch everyone's flip grids. I'm going to be watching them tomorrow because I like to have everyone hand them in before I look at them because I could see everyone's replies. But so far, you guys are doing a fabulous job. And lastly, I just wanted to say that I've had a bunch of people come to me and say that they've incorporated Nearpod into their classroom and they had follow-up questions, and that is the best thing you could do. I'm choosing to just work on one tool a week, right, and not give everything to you, because after we work on a tool and after you create something, if you really just take that time to implement it into your classroom, if you can, it will just really help you understand the tool full circle. And then, of course, any questions, let me know. All right, so have a good week. Oh, this is not due till the 11th. This is due April 11th because I didn't want anything due on spring break. Okay, bye.